Welcome back to SevTech Ages with Dan Bear Pig. Last episode, I established a little bit of a foothold here in this new valley, which will be my Age 1 base, and I got to something that I have been looking forward to this entire series, which is to prospect for ores. In fact, I probably jumped the gun a little bit on that because I was so excited to do so, and I've got all this ore, but I've got nowhere that is reasonable for me to put down my melter and my heater and start smelting it. And nothing really to do with it yet, even if I did. I really should be getting shelter. So far, this magnificent oak tree here is the extent of my shelter. So, in preparation for this episode, I actually started making a little bit more porcelain. You can see I've put down the millstone and the hand crank. Yes, I did have to look at the labels to remember off the top of my head what they're called. And so I've made quite a bit more porcelain in preparation for putting down the stuff for smelting. Oh yeah, and I finally got a trumpet too. Of course it happened off camera, which is disappointing, but I got a trumpet. So hopefully I get some more of those and I can fix them up, maybe make a mariachi band. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I've got all this porcelain, but if you recall, this is a hunger machine. And I am basically out of food. I had a whole stack of sandwiches almost, and now I'm down to this. And even after going out and foraging for food all around this valley, I'm almost out of food. But good news, I have found quite a bit more ore as I've gone around, including, there's the cassiterite I found as I started last episode, and there's malachite literally right here next to me, and some teolite over there. So I've got more ore deposits that I can dig for. I'm going to do that between episodes probably, though. We've already seen that. So I've got a couple of immediate needs to fill here before I can actually start building. One is food. Fortunately, I've got I don't have it on me, of course, I've got a stone hoe now, so I can make farmland a lot more easily than previously. And unfortunately, my trusty sleeping mat is just about to break. I have worn it out in the several days in-game that I have spent on this. But I've got a plan for that. Let's look at the advancements table. Crunchy pillows. Is your current sleeping situation not good enough? Well, I wasn't complaining, but I'm about to when I don't have a sleeping mat. Throw some leaves on top of hay to make a leaf bed. Part of my foraging, I have gotten just enough wheat to make 3 bales of hay, because I need 3 bales of hay and 3 of any leaves. And I've got leaves here. Nope, I lied, those are wildberry bushes. Oh, hi there. I guess my food situation really isn't that dire, and... Okay, well, I'm silly. I have all this wheat already. I didn't need to go foraging. I've got all these berries. I was panicking, guys. I was thinking I might have to go back to the old base and find some food, but... I have a chest full of food right here. Disregard everything I just said. I'm fine for food, but I do still need a bed. So I need my shears. It looks like I didn't bring my shears with me because, you know, I planned ahead. But I did bring the stone hoe, so let's go ahead, double click there, and what can we make? Unfired clay shears, bone shears. These I can do. Okay, so I need some plant twine and 2 bones. I think this might end up being my 3rd set of these that I've made, but that's because, as I said, I plan ahead. I don't really plan ahead. I'm just winging this whole thing. Shh. Okay, but here we go. Bone shears. And I think, yeah, the sun is already going down. Let's get some leaves. Alright, that'll do. And go back to our fancy new crafting table. And go back to this. Look at that. Advancement get crunchy pillows. And I don't have shelter other than this. I can't pick this bed back up once I've set it down. So let's see how far it is to this hut over here. It's a little far. Well, that's good news for this villager because I was going to displace him and say, hey buddy, I need this more than you do. He doesn't even have a bed. These villagers, they are so dumb. They've had all this time and they've done nothing with it. I'm talking about you. That's alright. Whoa! At least that's not a tar pit or a Shoggoth lair. I took care of those. And that is exactly why. It's time to put down a more permanent bed. This won't be the permanent bed, but for a while, until I've got real shelter, this, right out here under the stars, with this tree for when it rains, this is my shelter. Sleeping on itchy, scratchy hay and leaves. It's probably pretty restless because I'd imagine that's really noisy, but look at it. That is really cool. I'm actually not sure at what point I can make a regular vanilla Minecraft bed. I'd imagine probably in the next age or near the end of this one. Alright, well that takes care of the most pressing urgent needs. I've got food and I have a bed. So I can pass the night and I can fill my hunger bar. So let's take a look at what else I was doing off camera between episodes. If I climb up here, I should get a good vantage point. Yeah, there we go. This, I am trying out a few different designs. This is potentially the footprint of my next house. I really want to get an upgrade. I want to outdo myself on the last one. Believe it or not, that was one of the nicer houses I've ever made. One of the things I'd like to do is stretch my abilities and get better as an artist, as a Minecrafter in general, and increase my skill in building. Because I tend, in games like this, to take a lot of shortcuts. And one of the reasons that I am putting this out on YouTube is to keep myself on record and make sure that I actually put the effort required into this and improve my skills. So, the pressure is on. I've got a tall task ahead of me. This is probably going to be the house. I'm not going to share the plans I'm using yet. I'm going to keep that until I've actually made real progress on it. And I have plans for actually this entire valley. So, what I need to do now is set up an area where I can melt down my ores. That way I can make better tools, have a little workshop, and that will help me immensely as I gather the resources necessary to build this house. There's going to be resources put into this that I don't have the means of manufacturing yet. So over there, here's a little bit of a spoiler, I'm going to build a lumber mill. Not in this episode, but soon. Alright, so let's see what I need. So as you see here, I've already got the porcelain heater and a porcelain melter. And I think these are the only two components that have to match for them to work properly. There are two materials I can make it out of. I chose porcelain because I like the look of it. The other, if I had used grout, I think I make seared bricks, and then it comes out black. I might do both, depending on what we end up building and what the style is. But if they don't match, then they won't work properly. But I also need, in order to use the molten metal that will come from these, a casting table and a casting basin. And here are the ones out of seared brick. I don't think these actually need to match, but I'm going to make the match anyway. So for these, I need 14 more porcelain bricks, which I happen to have the porcelain for right here. And I don't have to make a kiln anymore for this. I checked, I think I have this right. Unlike the wood, which I foolishly put in here and ended up with ash, if you watched after the credits in my last episode, for my blooper, my outtake, I think this will actually work. Fingers crossed, I'm ready to abort if necessary. Phew, okay, there it is. I need 14 of these. So, I'm going to go ahead and let all of this smelt up. Or bake, rather. I guess this isn't really smelting, this is baking. I'm going to bake all of that porcelain into bricks. And then we will meet together back over there where I'm going to build my workstation and get started on that project. Oh, cool. I think this is actually updated from the last time I played SevTech a couple of years ago. Or I just don't remember. It's got all the information about what's happening in the furnace right up there on the top of the screen. That is super handy. I almost forgot something very important. In order to get the molten metal out of our melter and heater assembly, I'm going to need faucets. And I fired all of my porcelain, so I had to make more. But here we go. Unfired faucet. And if I put those in here, they should fire, and we'll have porcelain faucets. There it is. Okay, now we can begin. Okay, here I am at my proposed house location. I think what I want to do is have a workshop here in the back, underneath this mountain here. And you can see where we are relative to current home right over there. So I've got some cobblestone with me, and I'm going to probably update this. I'm going to no doubt update this later as I get better materials. But for now, this is what I've got to work with. And I've got to get started on this in order to get the better materials to upgrade this later. So I'm going to clear this area right here and set down a little foundation of cobblestone. Alright, there we go. That's more than enough for right now. And I'm going to start it raised, and I'm probably going to build up some earthworks around it. Make some nice landscaping later. But first we need the function, and then we can make the form. There we go. Got a nice 7x5 platform here. So let's start. What goes on the bottom? What have I got here? It's neither of these. Let's get all of this out of the way. I have so much junk now. Alright, there's the melter and there's the heater. So the melter goes on top and the heater goes on the bottom. So let's put this right here and put this on top of it. Oop. Shift click, there we go. And you know, it looks like it's working, but it's not. There's no fuel, there's nothing in there yet. And let's put these on either side. Let's put the casting basin over there and the casting table over there. So now what I need is these faucets. Boop. Boop. And that, in theory, is a functioning workstation for melting down our ores and smelting them into actual metals. I'm going to sleep to pass the night, and in the morning, we'll put some of the ore in that melter and see what we get. I think I'm going to start with the copper. I'm going to get one stack actually of each. I'm going to get one stack of copper, one stack of tin, and let's get this half a stack of coal. It won't be enough to finish this, but it'll be enough to get started. Look at that, the sun revealing our workstation. That's just really pretty. Okay, so let's fuel this first. Let's put the coal in, and then here I'll put in the tin clusters. Actually, I want to start with copper. I'm a big fan of copper. So there they are. I can only put in 3 at a time, so I'm going to need to set up some hoppers and some chests in order to automate this. But this shows us how much fuel we have, which is really handy, so I don't have to keep going back and forth between these. And this shows our progress. 3 of those should be enough to make 1 ingot, if I recall properly. And this will tell us how many ingots we've got. And once I've got 9, then I should be able to pour it out of this faucet into the casting basin and get a block. So while that goes, we can get started on the next requirement, the next thing we need for this workshop. Here we go with the puns again. Anvil Levine. Does anyone still listen to Avril Lavigne? Hopefully not. Need plates, smash some ingots with a mallet on the stone anvil. So this is our primitive anvil. We don't have the iron anvil yet. We don't even know what iron is yet. So for the stone anvil, it's the same crafting recipe as for the iron anvil, but with stone instead of iron. So we need 3 stone slabs and 4 stone blocks. How's this going? Man, that is slow. We definitely want to automate this and set up several stations, so this will certainly get an upgrade in the not too distant future. And there it is, stone anvil, and I get the stone mallet for free. Danbury Pig 82 has made the advancement Anvil Levine. Alright, so I'm going to place this anvil right there. And this, much like other anvils, I think will actually break. I think it's got some durability, but it'll work for now. And look at this. You can see it right in there. Let's see. Get up on top. Yep. This is probably not actually safe. I'm going to burn myself, but there it is. We've got 3 ingots. Oh, so yeah, each of these makes an ingot. So yeah, that's more efficient than I thought. And I definitely want to keep putting copper in, otherwise I'll only be able to pour off some metals and I'll have a mess on my hands. And we'll be more efficient with the coal as well if we're automatically adding more to this as we go. So what is next? We've got that. I don't need the plumb line yet. Follow my channel pulls. That's a good point. If you haven't already, and if you're enjoying this content, please subscribe. You see how I did that? Alright, a channel is a great way to transport fluids from tanks and other sources. When placing down the channel, follow the arrow on top and right-click to change directions, disconnect, etc. Pour liquids into the channel using a normal porcelain faucet. So that's what I've got here. I won't need this yet, but this will give us some fancier options. So the difference here, this will be used to make blocks of metal, which I can use the anvil to fashion into tools and weapons. And this is for some other things. I'll be able to make casting molds, place them here and pour them, and they'll take on the shape of the thing that I put in there. So that's pretty cool. A little bit more immersive way to work with metals. Alright, so I'm going to let this finish melting and add some more, and then I will catch you when we're ready to pour it into the block. Alright, there are other 3. So we have enough for 1 blocks. And I think this will not quite hold 2 blocks. Yeah, capacity 16 ingots, and so that is just short of 2 full blocks. So you actually have to keep an eye on this. Let's see, how's our time looking? Sun is getting low, but it's not night yet. Alright, so here we go. I've been waiting for this for a while. I hope you guys are having as much fun with this as I am. Look at that. That is too cool. Yep, I have filled the casting basin with copper, and it is still, it's solidifying, it's cooling, and there we go. And it says empty. It's got that copper block in there, and it's green because that's the color that copper rusts. That's why the malachite is green. So there it is, block of copper. And let's see if I can remember how to do this. If I put that there, and this is our substitute for not having the bonking rock on the crafting table. So here we go. Yep, there it is. And now I've got ingots. And I can take these and further refine them into sheets. And that's what I can make things like swords, things like armor out of. Let's take a look. Yep, so I can make copper gears out of stone gears. I can use these to make copper boots. I can make copper chest plates. In fact, you know what? I think what I'm going to do next is make a full set of copper armor. It's time for a major upgrade. It's not bronze, but it's copper. Alright, I'm going to keep pouring, and I'm going to meet you when I'm ready to craft some armor. Okay, it's almost night again, but I have made 3 blocks of copper, and I have converted that into 27 copper plates, and that'll be more than enough for a full set of armor. Realistically, if I want the best armor I can get right now, I should wait until I've alloyed this into bronze, but I don't want to wait. I really like copper, and I want copper armor, so I'm going to do that. But as you can see, this has really worn out my, what is this called? My stone mallet, so I'm going to have to make a lot of those. What's the recipe for that? Okay, those are real cheap, really easy. So I'm going to have to make several more of those. And I've really burned through this coal. So I'm going to have to mine a lot more coal or come up with a better way to automate some furnace fuel. So let's go sleep and then make some armor. Copper boots. Copper leggings. Copper chest plate. And copper helmet. Alright, let's take off our leather pants. And for now, let's take off our wild dog boots. I'm gonna keep those though. And look at me now. Kind of looks like orange leather armor. But no, this is copper. This is about twice as good as the leather armor that I was wearing before. So this will be a nice upgrade. And I think I'm going to wait on the tools until I have bronze. I'm going to use bronze tools because those I'm really going to have to keep crafting over and over again because I'm going to be using them up. So that'll be worth waiting for. Let's see. I'm going to put these. Nope, that's full. Let's put them in a backpack. I'll find them later. While we're here, what do we need for the channel? An unfired channel is just these 5 unfired porcelain. Do I have that? Nope, that's clay. Porcelain bricks. I may have shot myself in the foot again on this one. Casting channel. Seared bricks. Grout. Sand, clay, and gravel. No, I don't want to make that right now either. Alright, let's hold off on that. What we can do is the alloy kiln, and that's how we're going to get our bronze. So let's see, to make the alloy kiln, I need to make that out of kiln bricks. If I'm recalling correctly, and I think I am, so that's bricks and sandstone. And bricks, this doesn't say that I can do this in a furnace, but can I? Let's test. Nothing is happening. Well, dang it. I don't want to go back to the old base. I want to do everything here if I can, which means I'm going to need to dig up some more clay and oh hey, hello pants. Dig up some more clay and make some kilns and then make some bricks. And I think I'm going to do that off camera, and then I will meet you over there ready to build the alloy kiln. I've advanced to the next stage and I still can't make fire. Hopefully this charcoal block will take care of it. Let's find out. I've tried this 4 times now and still it is as much trouble as it was last time. Alright. Stay lit, please. Stay lit. If I look at it really closely, maybe it'll work. Did that fire go out? It did. Okay, so this charcoal does not work the same as the other charcoal. Ugh. A whole stack of sticks and nothing to show for it. I am going back to the old base, and I'm going to use those kilns. And then I'm going to come back with low-grade charcoal and use that. This is ridiculous. Well, I picked a gloomy day, but it's fun to see the old base again. Even though it hasn't really been that long, has it? There's the old cave, and there's the old house. Vermin have moved in, apparently. Alright, and a working kiln. And there are 4 low-grade charcoal blocks. And And that fire won't go out, so surely this will get fired. I'm not crazy, right? I'm doing this the right way. This is the way I did it before, right? And it worked. It worked then. Alright, what do we have? Nothing. Is this not how it works anymore? Does it not work anymore in age 1? Surely that's not the case. That can't be. Old technology doesn't just stop working just because you have new technology. I'm frustrated now. I'm going to have to do some research, and I'll get right back to you. Okay, I did some research, and well, this is the way it goes with heavily modded games sometimes. It's a bug. Apparently, it will never convert in the current version, as opposed to the previous version that I did the last season in, unless I put something in it. Let's see what happens. It's supposed to be the exact opposite of this. Yep, there we go. Okay. I spent an hour or so going and getting this low-grade charcoal just to make this work, and I didn't need to do so. Now, will it convert these, or do I need to take them out and put them back in? Alright, look at that. Bricks. Alright, I'm going to get my bricks and then make them into the kiln blocks. I should also mention that before I went back to my old base, uh-oh, hello, one hit, I set up some more of these, what are they called again? I just set them up, the strainers. And that's because I'm going to need a bunch of sand for this part of the project. A full stack, in fact. So let's go back to shore over here and make our kiln bricks, because they're made out of both bricks and sandstone. So for sandstone, I need sand. There we go. 16 of these. And I think, if I'm remembering this right, I can't remember what manual says it, but I think I need 8 of these. So, oh, actually, I don't need that many. Here we go. Danbury Pig has reached the goal all mixed up. Which one is that? Build the alloy kin from immersive engineering to create bronze. Well, I haven't done that yet. I've just made the materials for it. Jeez, hold your horses. Yeah, 8 kiln bricks in a 2x2x2, and then right click with the engineer's hammer to create the structure. Oh, I need the engineer's hammer, don't I? Engineer's hammer, 2 copper ingots. Okay, good thing I have copper, string, and sticks. Alright, I've extended this platform a little bit more, and again, this will definitely get some revisions. Everything is going to get revisions at some point. But let's see if we can do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so those are the kiln bricks, but I still need the engineer's hammer, so I need a couple more bronze. I need a couple copper ingots. This is our copper block, and while I break this down into ingots, I might as well start on the tin because I can't make bronze out of copper alone. And here we go with the stone mallet. Here it is, the engineer's hammer. Alright, here we go. Moment of truth. Will this work? Look at that. A kiln. Well, it still says kiln brick, but there is our kiln. And if I right click on it, I can put 2 different metals in here and some fuel in here. Let's put some more tin in. Oh wow, the tin actually melts a whole lot faster than the copper, which actually makes sense. They have different heat capacities, so I think I can beat the sun here. It'll be a close call, but maybe we get a nice photo finish with the sunset. Depends on how fast the kiln is. Alright, here we go. A nice pour. Look at that. I'm sorry, I think this is just too cool. Let's go ahead and make this into ingots. Alright, and into the kiln. Here we go, it's cooking. Oof. Alright. Yeah, I can't risk it. I gotta go use the bed. Alright, what have we got here? Oh right, because this has to do it in a specific ratio, so I think it's 2 to 1. Or is it the other way around? Yeah, because we only used 2 tin ingots, but we used 6 copper, so it's 3 to 1. Yeah, but here it is. Bronze. Danbury Pig has reached the goal, brains over bronze. So there it is. Use the alloy kiln to produce bronze ingots. And speaking of sleep, though, we have accomplished a lot in this episode, and I think it's time for me to sleep in real life. Let's get one more nice view of this here. Maybe this is a good screenshot. Although I already got one with me doing a pour of that metal. So, with that, I'm going to leave you here. I'm going to spend some time off camera smelting up some of this this ore, and then we'll start the next episode by making some bronze tools. And then we'll use them, of course. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a like, leave some comments if you've got some feedback, and subscribe to my channel, help it grow, and share it with a friend. And I will see you next time. Thank you for watching.